No, man, I think that it's crazy when people get upset about that stuff because the people who get upset about that stuff value liberty and freedom so much, and they want to live their lives undeterred by anyone's rules.
But they think that the company that they like is giving into the woke agenda. That's what it is.
There's no woke agenda.
A lot of companies are using this person.
Yeah.
There's more than one company. There's like a bunch of them, like Nike and a bunch of other stuff.
Also, she's pretty. I get it. No, I mean, I see nothing wrong.
Good luck.
Joe Rogan, no. What were you thinking? I don't understand. This is like one of the weirdest takes. I don't know if Bud Light's a big sponsor of his show or a big sponsor of UFC, but he had one of, I mean, look, when you have hot takes for a living, you're going to have a miss. And his take on the Bud Light boycott was ruthlessly picked apart by his own viewers. The video, I think, maybe the first time in history a Joe Rogan video gets ratioed. It has 31,000 dislikes and to 22,000 likes. I mean, that's a lot of pushback for Joe Rogan, who just completely misses the point on this. Make sure you leave a like on this video and help continue by hitting the share button. I really, really appreciate you all are doing so awesome. I'm so thankful. And thank you to everyone who tried out Coffee Brand Coffee yesterday. I think we added a couple hundred new customers. We're shipping your orders essentially within 48 hours right now. So if you want a brand that is apolitical, 100% apolitical and will always be apolitical, check out the reviews for Coffee Brand Coffee. It's my company. We're based right here in the United States. We've got 4,200 reviews with an average review score of 4.8 stars. We have obviously our signature blends. If you don't like flavored coffee, we also have just rolled out strawberries and cream, which is flying off the shelves. People are going to love it. I know it. I taste tested this last fall and I was like, it's gonna be our number one seller. We have our delicious cold brew bags, which just go right into a pitcher of coffee, put in overnight. You got that. Plus we've got, a dozen other flavors, K-Cups, double caffeinated, and so much more. I really would love a chance to earn your business today. Check out coffeebrandcoffee.com. Link in the description. Promo code The Quartering, and you'll save 5% too. Joe Rogan takes surprising stance on Bud Light controversy. Podcast giant Joe Rogan sided with Anheuser-Busch in an episode of his show this week as the company deals with the fallout from paid marketing engagement with highly controversial Dylan Mulvaney. Speaking on Wednesday on the Joe Rogan Experience, the comedian Sam Talent Rogan spoke about the controversy surrounding Bud Light. Quote, though both men cracked open cans of Bud Light, began to drink the beer as they discussed the controversy. See, what's interesting about this is like, dude is like I'm sure he doesn't have Bud Light hanging around the studio. So he like had to go send somebody to get the prop, to get Bud Light as a prop to set this up. He goes, like, what are they doing? What they're doing is just spreading the brand to an extra group of people. Why? If something is good, do you give an F who's got it? What? Rogan said, like, would you do this with cheesecake? Like, you know what I'm saying? If there was some really bomb cheesecake and all of a sudden, some radical group really got into that cheesecake, we would be like, F this. And if the Cheesecake Factory sent them a cheesecake, for 10 more years of chaos, like celebratory, it's not the same thing. It's not like Dylan Mulvaney happens to like Bud Light and people are protesting because of that. That's what I'd say even with Coffee Brand Coffee. Yes, I'm more of a centrist, libertarian type, but I want liberals to buy my coffee and I want conservatives to buy my coffee and I want apolitical people to buy my coffee. That's how you build a business. These fly-by-night, super political brands, they don't last long. The reason people are pissed is because of everything that came out afterwards. First of all, the walking disrespect to women that Dylan Mulvaney represents. Two, the VP of marketing referring to their customers as like fratty and outdated about the brand of the type of people, essentially saying, we don't want you as customers anymore. Her clear disdain for the middle class and everyday Americans, and so much more. it's not just because Dylan Mulvaney drank a Bud Light. Rogan noted that he liked a lot of the backlash to Bud Light, including Kid Rock, taking out some cans. But on the other hand, I love Kid Rock's videos because I love that kind of thinking. Rogan said, not even that I agree with it. I like wild people. I like a dude who takes a stack of Bud Light cans out and is like, F Anheuser-Busch. But I mean, where's it going to now? You going to go to Coors? He continued. Don't they all support LGBTQIA+, whatever the heck they're attaching it to? Again, first of all, has Joe Rogan been in a liquor store? There's literally thousands of choices for beers. Thousands. Coors is also on the LGBTQ woke virtue signaling. All these super huge mega corporations are. But there's absolutely no reason you have to buy from them. Beer, just like with Gillette, with razors, you just get a different beer. You find, in any city that has more than a few thousand people, you probably have some local-ish brew store in your liquor stores. Go to their website, check them out, look at their social media. If all their posts are about their product and not retweeting anti-Trump stuff or pro-Joe Biden stuff or all this stuff, seems pretty safe. He also added, how big of a deal, how is that the big deal, Rogan said. I think it's goofy because I think that person's goofy. But if you want to hire a goofy person, like, who gives an S? It's kind of hilarious. It was also just a can with that person's face on it. That's all it was. It wasn't like something they were selling. Well, Joe, it's more than that. It's like first of all, Bud Light, I don't know. Is it known as like an ultra high quality brew? If you look, at the hypocrisy on display, his fans are pointing it right out. Like, Joe, there's no woke agenda. Also, Joe builds a comedy club to protect comedians from woke cancel culture. Some of the other comments, Goofy isn't a grown man pretending to be a 6-year-old girl. That's straitjacket material. This is a time when I wish a guest would call Joe out on his BS. Tell me that you're sponsored by Bud Light without saying you're sponsored by Bud Light. I wonder how much money Joe got paid for this. Notice how they kept the label pointed to the camera. Yeah, maybe Bud Light made a little bit of, a payment. There's no, I think Joe Rogan's got plenty of money, but maybe he has had a business relationship with them in the past. They said this dude is all over the place with everything. Wherever the wind blows, Joe goes. I want a beer that I can have 17 of. This absolutely needs to be a slogan for a light beer company. Yeah, see, there's no woke agenda. The guest has straight up had his eyes closed. The idea that there isn't a woke agenda is absurd. Literally turn on the television and tell me tell me what you notice about the couples on TV and commercials nowadays. See if you notice anything funny, anything that might pop out at you. And it's like Joe doesn't know his audience anymore. Then Bud knows its consumers. I think, yes, everything. If his point is, wow, there's so many other bigger things in the world to be mad about. Why be mad about this? Yeah, you could say that about everything. Okay, I don't think anyone's saying that, this is a bigger deal than, American families not being able to buy groceries because of the hidden tax of inflation that Joe Biden ignores and the devaluation of our dollar's buying power. But it's still a big deal. The idea that you would come out and say there's no woke agenda when really Joe Rogan, part of his whole shtick is calling out like woke lefties. Now, he does call out Republicans too, but that's not where he makes his bones. Joe just did what Bud Light did, forgot who his audience is, insane, a swing and a miss by Joe. The way Joe looked at him when he said that Mulvaney was pretty, I don't understand why would Joe do this? And then you see this here, like Joe Rogan slammed by fans for defending Bud Light over Dylan Mulvaney sponsorship. And you see Joe Rogan's rabid fan base soured on the Spotify star after he took a sip of Bud Light during his podcast. Wonder how much Bud Light paid him to do that, one Twitter user wrote. Another Twitter user accused Rogan of sitting on the fence while he plays it safe. Quote, because cultural degradation matters, but Joe has never actually cared about that. Quote, well, Joe, I give an F because they're shoving this crap down our throats, a Twitter user wrote. I mean, there were so many people responding to that thread, rightfully so, just because, look, I'm not saying Joe Rogan needs to be canceled, or it's just a bad take. And it's also not really consistent with his position. The idea that the idea that he's minimizing it so much, like, oh, it was just a can. Yeah, it was a can. It was $100,000 paid to a man who in woman face, instead of maybe a woman who's trying to make it out there. It was done with nefarious intent by a woke marketing VP that we now know didn't have the permission of the superiors above her. And it's also the straw that broke the camel's back in a lot of ways. And, we're going to see how this shakes out, with sales. I mean, you look at the stock, InBev stock today, it's back up. The company's still selling well, but we haven't seen any sales reports for the past couple of weeks. So it's going to be interesting to say. I don't think, yes, Dylan Mulvaney is silly and the stupid can is silly, but sometimes in life, people just put their foot down and say enough is enough. Thanks for tuning in this week. Thanks everyone who supported my coffee company. By the way, we have 15 organic teas and 3 real cacao cocos too. If you haven't yet, all I can ask is that you give us a try. If you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. I really think you're going to like our product. It's roasted fresh on demand, available in whole bean and ground, however you like it. We're a small business, but we've got big plans and we can't get there without you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Link in the description for Coffee Brand Coffee, and we'll talk to you again real soon.